Hey, this is Dr. Moorman. I'm here at Schenck Forest. I'm in stand 1 of your stewardship planning area, and I'm going to shoot one of these videos for every one of the 7 management units in your stewardship planning area at Schenck Forest. If you open up the video and you don't see me, just scan around, you'll see me. I'm somewhere nearby. These are 360 videos, so you can look in any direction, you can look up and down, and the idea is that you get a feel for the environment in a virtual setting. I'm going to encourage you to come out in person if possible, but for now we're just going to review these stands in a virtual setting. So this is stand 1, and it's called, I'm going to call it the Shelterwood stand, and the goal of a Shelterwood harvest, as you should know, is to regenerate intermediate shade-tolerant species. Often oaks, but in this case longleaf pine. So the goal is to restore a longleaf pine oak Piedmont plant community, and there is some longleaf pine in the overstory here, so there could be some natural regeneration through seed, but there also will likely be underplanting of longleaf pine. The overstory that's been retained here is lower than you would typically retain in a Shelterwood harvest. I would say there's about 20 square feet per acre of basal area here, and you're usually going to have 40 square feet or more. A Shelterwood actually has a series of harvests that take place typically, but in this case there's just one harvest to get an intermediate light environment, and then we're going to try to use fire and underplanting to get the longleaf to restore. I suspect that the overstory will be retained, so in that case it'll be a 2-age stand, but if you get your regeneration that's desired and come in later and remove the overstory, then you have a 1-age stand. So what about structure in this stand as it occurs now? This stand was harvested just 6 months ago or so. I'm here in early July of 2020, and this stand was harvested January or February of this year. So it hasn't been very long. You see there's some hardwoods that are sprouting back from where they're cut. There is some herbaceous vegetation here. Here's a forb that's come up, that's fireweed. Here's dog fennel, a little tiny dog fennel that's beginning to come up. Maybe some pokeweed out here, and then there are lots of hardwood sprouts. So here's a sweet gum hardwood sprout over here. Here's actually an oak sprout. You'll see more sweet gum sprouts. Here's another oak sprout right here. So in a year or two, these hardwoods are going to move up into the midstory and begin to shade the ground, and they would shade out any longleaf pine that might regenerate or be planted. So fire is going to be necessary. You also see a lot of these little pine seedlings here. Or if you stick with me here, here's a little pine seedling. These are loblolly pines. So again, fire is going to be needed to reduce the competition with any longleaf that's going to be restored here. So I don't know the exact plans for fire, but you would want to come in with frequent fire to continually knock back that hardwood competition and allow continued light for the longleaf pine. If you didn't burn, then those hardwoods would move into the midstory. So because this stand is so open, you're going to get a really incredible response in the understory, as we already start to see happening over there in the lower slope positions. And you would expect woodland birds here. There'd be a high biomass of deer forage, deer bedding cover, deer fawning cover. The woodland birds will be here, include the eastern bluebird that I hear singing right over my head. We might expect eastern wood pewee and red-headed woodpeckers. We could get some shrubland birds here. Earlier in the spring I heard a prairie warbler singing down in the corner, so that's a possibility. Turkeys will certainly come out here and forage. This stand is going to provide excellent turkey nesting cover for the next couple of years. So this is stand 1, and I'm going to call this the Shelterwood harvest.